You have a good sleep? Good morning. We are live. I'm going to wait for people to jump on here. It's 8 o'clock, Monday morning, May 18th. We're here this morning for 60 minutes of the Bikram practice, also known as 26 postures. We're going to go through each one time. And yep, I see someone's hopped on. Good morning. Who's ready for a new week? May 18th. Let's do this. Take a sip of water, maybe two, because we are not going to have another water break after for the next several postures. We'll wait, do 4, and then have a water break. So take a little now if you want. Get your mat set up. Make sure you're comfortable, ready to go. I will do the same. I'm going to open a window. Let's get started. One more time. We're here Monday morning, May 18th, for 60 minutes of 26 postures, the Bikram postures that we're going to go through one time. This is red pants yoga. I decided to break out the pants that started it all this morning. Let's prepare for pranayama, the first posture, standing deep breathing. So comfortable standing position done with a lot of mindfulness and intention in the way that you place your body on the mat, feel your body in space, and connect mind with body. So begin down at your feet, take a look at them, and spread those toes apart like you could get a finger in between each one if possible. So spread them apart as much as possible. And then shift your weight a bit so that you're rocking onto your toes and the balls of your feet, and then maybe back onto your heels. Feel that shift back and forth and then side to side so that you roll over the outside of the right foot all the way to the left, and feel the way your feet rock back and forth, going side to side, front to back. Land in a neutral position on your feet, and then feel most of that weight come in to the back of your feet, over your heels. So your hips are over your heels, shoulders are over hips. There's Betty saying good morning, the cat behind me. And finally, just make sure the back of your head is stacked up over your heels. So that for most people, that means you need to shift your weight and even take touch of your chin here and shift the weight back so that it's like the back of your head were resting on the mat if you were lying down. Let's roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. Feel your shoulder blades slide down your back. Palms open, facing the front. And bring hands together. Interlace the fingers. Press the webbing of the fingers against each other. Tuck them under your chin and feel those knuckles of the thumbs rest against your throat. Let's inhale here and send the elbows up to the ceiling. Everything else stays level. We're just shifting our shoulders so the elbows are up to the ceiling with an inhale. Exhale, gently push the chin back, look up towards the ceiling now, and elbows are going to wrap around and try to touch in front. Inhale, elbows up. And open mouth, exhale, bring the elbows to touch. Inhale, elbows up, chin level, spine straight, belly in and strong. Exhale. Bring the elbows around to touch. Gentle lift of the chin here. Look up to the ceiling. Inhale. Fill your lungs. Send those elbows up. Exhale. Inhale. Nice deep breath. Steady pace. Try to maybe count to 6 through your inhale, and then another count to 6 for the exhale. No arching of the back here. Keep the spine straight. This is just gazing up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 more. Make these your deepest breaths yet. Inhale. Feel yourself stretch out of the waist. Inhale, fill the chest. Exhale, let it go. Feel your belly pull in as it pushes the air out. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Wrap those elbows around the front. Change. Let it go. Drop your hands to your side. Samastitihi. Let's stay here for 1 breath. Inhale. And exhale. And the next inhale, slight bend in the knees, arms overhead. And then here, just take a moment to stretch out on both sides. Maybe take some circles at the waist. Send the hips in one direction and then the other, away from the upper body, and then we'll go the other way. We're headed into half moon, Ardha Trikonasana, and in Bikram, the half moon is to take 4 different directions with your body to get a side stretch on each side, and then a front, back stretch. So we do a forward fold and a back bend. So just warm up for all of that. We're headed into those 4 parts of this one posture, half moon pose. I'm going to adjust the computer screen just a bit so you get a little more, get a little higher. There we go. Okay. Okay, so begin again into asana, same way we did before. Standing pose, nice and strong, belly pulled in, spine straight, shoulders away from the ears and chest lifted. Palms face the front. Let's exhale to prepare. Let's send all that air out. Inhale, arms overhead. Take a steeple grip. Clasp your hands again, but let go of the index fingers. You can't quite see it in my screen. There's a steeple grip. And we're going to lift out of the waist, arms nice and strong, biceps along the ears, but just let those shoulders come back down. And then go ahead on an exhale and then to the right. So arms stay straight overhead, hips square and shoulders square to the front. That can mean you need to open up that top armpit a bit. In case you are just kind of folding over here, open it up. Open this armpit so that it is keeping your chest square. Inhale, feel a nice stretch along the side body all the way down to your hip. We don't often really check in with that spot, especially on the side here. So take this pose, hold it. In Bikram, we hold these postures. And if you need to let go a bit because you've made it a little much of a stretch to start and it feels hard to hold, come on out of it a bit and find length. And then you can bend back down. You can move with your breath. Inhale, find length. Exhale, deeper bend. I'm going to pedal out my legs a bit by bending one knee at a time. Just kind of check in and change. Inhale, arms overhead, straight and neutral position here. Remember, if you have those arms strong and engaged as you should, to let the shoulders still drop away from the ears. And then on an exhale, we're going to bend to the other direction. Might feel a little tighter on this side. Mine does, or maybe it feels not as tight as the other side for you. Notice that subtle difference. I'm already pedaling out my legs. And then remember, feel that stretch all the way down to your hips on the side here as you stay square to the front of the room. If you went too far to begin and it feels difficult to hold, come out just a bit, find length, and pull back in. Breathe here, deep breaths. Remember to open up that top armpit if you need to make sure that your shoulders and chest are square to the front of the room, hips are square. Change. Inhale, neutral position here. Keep those arms engaged. This is a nice arm workout. Keeps them strong. Inhale, chest up, gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale, push the hips to the front of the room. Inhale, chest up to the ceiling. Push the hips to the front of the room. This is a back bend, bending back, but we want to do it with plenty of lift in the chest so that we keep the spine long and lifted as much as possible while bending. If it's comfortable for you, let that head fall back all the way. Maybe you can see the wall behind you. Change, inhale, come up, bend the knees deeply as you carefully dive forward for forward fold. Arms engaged and by the ears this whole time. Bend the knees and rest the belly on the knees. When belly hits the knees, then you can drop the arms. So belly is resting on the knees. It means I really got to suck in my belly button, have a deep bend in my knees, and then with the arms resting comfortably on the floor, the head and neck can go last, and really release them by nodding the head yes or shaking it out no. Take plenty of deep breaths here, and you can leave your hands on the floor here if you need to lift them a bit more by having them higher up on some blocks, or otherwise take those arms and wrap them around the back of your legs. Try to point the elbows to the back of the room, palms slide down the back of your calves. And if you want, walk out the legs here a bit. That's what I'm going to do. Check out which side might be more tight. Breathe here. Forward fold. Keep your eyes open. If you can, that gaze should be the wall behind you, between the space, in the space between your calves. You can peek through there. One more deep breath. And change, arms engaged overhead once more as you inhale up. Exhale, arms down by your side. Samastitihi. Take a breath here. Nice deep breath. I just got a little lightheaded from coming up fast. Inhale, arms up. We're moving into awkward pose, Utkatasana. Step the feet about 6 inches apart, or the width of 2 fists together. You can bend down and put those fists between your feet for a check that way. So we've got our chest lifted, but shoulders relaxed, dropped away from the ears. And then sit back in your chair. Booty goes back. Hands like blades, or just the energy's pulling your arms to the front of the room as your booty falls back. And that juxtaposition of the pull and the direction is what keeps you balanced. Look down that you can see your toes past your knees and give them a wiggle. That'll make sure that your weight's in your heels. Strong legs, engage the legs, pull the belly in, drop the shoulders down, sit back a little deeper. Change, inhale up, and keep going by lifting those heels high, high on your toes. Stay right here for balance and stretch out where the toes and feet meet, right in that little spot. Stay high right here. And if you have your balance high on your toes with heels lifted, like a ballerina, you can begin to bend at the knees and drop down again in the chair. If you wobble and the heels have to drop, that means you need to just come back up and work on the balance. I think that's where I'm at today, so I'm just going to stay high on those toes, pull the belly in, change. Let it go. Keep the arms engaged though. This is major arm strengthening. Inhale, heels up 1 inch now off the mat, so heels are not raised quite as high, and bring the knees together. Zip up that space between your inner thighs, engage them, pull them together, and then sink down, lower straight down, spine straight, shoulders relaxed, lower down with your heels off the ground about 1 inch. Breathe here. Hold that balance. Engage the legs. Feel that pulling in the inner thighs. Pull them together and change. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, let it go. Bring feet together. Samastitihi. Take a breath here. Let it go. And then we move into eagle. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right arm under left. Give yourself a little hug here. Open up at the shoulders. Feel the back of your shoulder blades, the scapula there. And then begin to wrap those arms like ropes together if you'd like. If you like to stay in this self-hug, do so. Elbows are stacked one on top of the other, coming down the center of my body. I'm gonna wrap those arms together like ropes. Again, pull the elbows down towards the center of the body. That brings the fingers down in front of your face. We're gonna take a strong foundation on the left standing leg. Inhale, right knee up. Maybe touch the elbows if you want. A lot of balance here on that left leg. And then once you have that right leg as high as you can get it, cross your thighs, right thigh over the left, and then begin to take the same kind of bind with your legs that you're doing with your hands. If a deep wrapping with your toes along the calf causes your hips to go sideways or brings your knee out sideways, back it off a bit and try to stay in one square straight line with knees under elbows. Betty the cat is making a lot of appearances today. It's kind of fun. She's usually hiding out away from the dogs. Okay, bend a little deeper, sit down in that chair, pull everything together down the center line of your body, knees under elbows, pull it all in. And change, let it go. All right, let all that go. Walk the feet out and then swing the arms so that now left arm is under right. Opposite arms this time. Check in here, give yourself that hug and stay here if you want, or continue to wrap those arms together. Elbows, forearms, wrists, and then pull the elbows down, drop the shoulders away, bring the fingertips in front of your face if possible. Strong right leg this time. And then as we prepare for the bind, you inhale, bring the knee in as high and as you can up before you wrap. And then with that nice tight wrap, left thigh over right, continue to go with your legs, balance on that right standing leg. If it brings your knees over to the side, like it's done for me this morning, I'm gonna back off and just have my toes face down so that knees are under elbows. Bring it all in. Sit down in your chair. Bring elbows and knees to the center line of your body. Breathe here. Pull it all in. This is a pose full of constriction and contraction. So pull it all in and change. Now we can let it go. Let it go. Walk the legs out. Bring arms up and let them back down. And now you can take a sip of water before we move into the next set of postures. Yeah, Betty says hi. All right. I had my sip of water there. That feels so good after the first round of poses. And we're headed to standing head to knee. So for standing head to knee, I might actually do this one to the side today. Normally do it front on, but it's nice to switch it up so you can see what it looks like from different angles if you need to. Inhale, right knee up, and find that strong foundation that we found before in eagle on the left leg. So the right knee is in line with the hip, and stand right here. Practice this balance with one knee lifted if you'd like, and flex the toes, bring the ankle up and down, give yourself some ankle rolls on the right side. If you want to take it further, we inhale, lift out of the waist, and exhale, fold over the hip crease, lower body folds over the leg, and find a grip here along your leg, ankle, or the bottom of your feet. Pull the belly in. If you've got your foot, try basket weave grip by interlacing the fingers. Belly is in. Breathe here. If you want to take it further, inhale up a few inches. Exhale, slide that heel across the an imaginary table in front of you. Leg is, the goal is for leg to be straight, lifted leg to be straight, but if you've got to keep that knee bent, that's fine. Flex the toes, bring them back to your face, drop the shoulders away from the ears, and change wherever you are. Come out one step at a time, lower it back down. Moving to the other side. Find your Samastitihi. Here comes Betty again. She's just having a ball this morning. She's in a party mood. Inhale, left knee up. Knee is in line with the hip. Stay right here with palms out and wiggle the foot around. Give your ankle some rolls. Stay right here. Work on balance. It's core strength to hold this leg up. If you want to keep going, inhale it up. Lift the chest. Exhale, fold over the hip crease. Pull the belly in, pull the belly in, pull the belly in. And find your grip along your calf, ankle, or your feet. If you have the foot grip, try basket weave underneath. And then just breathe here. Focus on one spot in front of you, the wall in front of you, or whatever is in front of your face there. Focus on it. Inhale up 2 inches. Exhale, push that heel out. Flex the toes. Going for a straight leg, both legs straight. That's the goal, but you might not be there yet. If you need to keep a knee bent, fine. Breathe here. And change. Let it go. Whew. I was ready to come out of that one, huh? All right, let's move into dancers. So standing bow or dancer pose. Right here, we're going to sturdy strong on the left foot. And I like to kind of lubricate my hip a bit by swinging it back and forth. Open up your right palm. Receive that right foot when you're ready. Inhale, left arm up. And stay right here. Again, this is plenty of balance and plenty of opening along the front of the right leg and hip. Stay right here, or begin to put a little more effort into it by kicking into that back right hand. Kick into the back right hand, and that will lift the leg and hand, start to come up towards the ceiling as your upper body lowers down. So it's a lift, chest stays lifted, right leg is lifted, and just keep a steady gaze. Opposite forces working here to stay balanced. And change. Come on out of it with control. Let it go. Find your breath in Samastitihi. And we move to the other side. So now we're strong, sturdy in that right standing leg. I'm going to lubricate the hips a bit. Something I didn't have to do before I hit 40 that I've got to do now. Warm it all up. Okay, open up that left palm. Bring the leg up so that the foot reaches the palm. Find a steady gaze right and straight in front of you. Do not look down. Your body will want to go where your gaze goes. So you can keep it right at eye level, your gaze, or you can bring it up a little higher. And then begin to kick into that left foot. Feel the opening, feel the limit you may have today, which is different than other days, and it might be different from one side to the other. Begin to kick, lift the legs as your upper body comes down. There's a pulling through the front right hand. Keep the gaze steady. Foot and hands in the back come up towards the ceiling. You start to wobble, bring it out just a bit. You want to be able to hold comfortably. And then change, come on out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, drop them comfortably down to your side. I'm going to check in with the comments. All right, good. I'm glad it worked for me to be to the side. Okay, we're headed into one of my favorites, balancing stick. It's really similar, if not the same in some ways, to Warrior 3. Another balancing pose really stretches us out. Okay, inhale, arms up. And as always, if you make sure to keep hips square in this posture, it'll really help stretch the hamstrings. So take that steeple grip by releasing index fingers. You may want to check in and take an opposite steeple grip that you usually do. So I have the opposite hand in front, the odd hand on top, which is just a nice change up for your body to not always take the same grip. Okay, step left foot forward. We're going to balance on the left leg, so make sure those toes are spread and that you've got a strong foundation. Pull the belly in, don't arch to the back, and then come up off those back right toes and just lower the upper body as you raise the back heel. Keep the foot strong and engaged. The gaze here starts in front of you, but you can slowly begin to shift it down several feet in front of your standing foot, maybe on the mat or the floor right in front of the mat. And just let your leg be pulled back. The lifted leg is pulled back. The arms are pulled forward. Hips are square. Feel that stretch in the left hamstring. And change. Come on up with control. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Step a right foot forward. We're going to move on to the other side. So strong foundation in the right legs. Toes are spread. Micro bend in the knee just a bit as I lift off the back left toes. Arms strong. Framing the ear. Engage the back left foot either by pointing the toes or the ball of the foot like a Barbie foot. And then find the shape of a T or just a straight line. If you don't go down very far or even want to stay balanced on your toes, a straight line up your leg and through the arms. So find your pose here. Pull opposite forces. Stretch in the right hamstring. And change. Inhale, come up. Right foot meets left, arms down. Give yourself a nice shoulder roll because that can really keep the shoulders pretty tight with arms overhead that way. And then take a drink of water and we'll come to the front of the mat, face the computer or the screen in front of you for separate leg forward fold. We begin, as always, in Samastitihi. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, step your right foot out about the length of a leg, one of your legs, not someone else's. Some are longer than others. Arms are out to a T. Micro bend the knees here, back and forth. I really notice and feel a stretch in my ankles when I do this, and it just gives me kind of a sense of what side might be more tight than the other. And our pelvis placement really affects the rest of the joints going down our leg. So, for example, I find I'm more tight in my left ankle because of the way I've got a slight pelvis tilt on my left with my left side moving back. And I have to watch for that. And I also notice that it causes tightness down all the way to my ankle. So I really believe that the pelvis is where a lot begins in our bodies. So anyway, I always have a little lecture, I guess, on anatomy around this posture. So micro bend of the knees, swan dive forward, lead with the chest, send the butt back. When you're at that halfway position, you could stay right here if you want to practice just hinging at the hip. I'm going to give a side view here. Hinging at the hip, which pushes the booty back and keeps the spine straight. So you can stay right here with a straight spine if you want to just get a feel, and even maybe up and down hip hinge. That is an awesome option if you're working on hip hinging. It takes quite a bit of practice before it just becomes like an intuitive, natural movement. So stay there or continue to drop your upper body and your hands. Lift the hips high to the ceiling. Once you're inverted or upside down with your upper body, you can do a little walk out again, bending at the knees. We can exhale and completely fold down and inhale to halfway. The traditional separate leg forward fold in Bikram here is to find a bind by wrapping your hands outside the back of your legs. Slide those hands down, find a bind, somewhere to grasp onto, and hold on tight. Pull in with the arms, pull the upper body in, lift the hips high. Breathe here. Find a place you can hold comfortably for a deep breath. And change. Inhale, halfway up. Bring the arms to a T to practice core strength, and then everything comes together, the top of the mat. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, arms up. We're moving right into triangle. Exhale, step the legs out, find that T, and then turn the right toes out. Right toes out, bend right knee over ankle, left leg straight and strong, and look down at the blade, outside blade of your left foot, and just feel the energy go all the way through it. Turn on a lot of energy there. Stay right here if you want, and just feel that nice stretch in the hips, or TikTok the arms at 6 and 12. And continue to lower down by pressing that right knee really gently with your right hand. Open it up there, and then final expression is a further deepening of the legs and a twisting up with the upper body, upper spine, looking at that lifted left arm. Lifted left arm, yet we still want to really have a soft side body along that top side that sinks down even as arm is lifted. And change. Inhale, bring it up. Turn the right toes in, turn left toes out, bend the knee. Find your strong foundation here. Knees over ankle, energy shooting down the outside of that straight leg with the energy going out all the way to the blade outside of the right toes. Stay here. Or TikTok the arms. Open up the left hip by bringing the hand out to the knee, having it track over that pinky toe, and then find your depth really slowly and carefully by twisting up to look at the raised right arm. That arm is raised, energy coming through even as you soften the side body. Breathe here, strong legs. And change. Inhale, both arms up, all the way to the top of the mat. Exhale, let it go. We're moving right into separate leg standing, head to knee. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, step it out a little less distance this time. Sorry, keep your arms overhead in prayer position. Prayer hands, fold one thumb over the other, and then spin on the heels so that you're facing the side of the room. Micro bend in the front knee just a bit as you dive over that front leg. Keep hips square. Hips square means hamstrings are being stretched. Find your depth here. Pull the belly button in, which allows you possibly to reach hands to the floor where you can keep them in prayer or separate them for balance. Tuck the chin to the chest if you want to go head to knee. Bend the knee enough to get it to your forehead. Change. Inhale, come on up. Keep hands lifted and in prayer. Turn all the way to the other side. If you want, cross one thumb over the other so that the opposite thumb is on top now. Micro bend, front leg. We're facing the other side of the room. Dive over the left leg now, or the opposite leg. Pull the belly in, pull the belly in. Do it slowly with plenty of control. Keep the hips square. I really have to bend my knee a little more on this side to get all the way down to the ground because of the tightness on this side. Finally, if you want to go head to knee, tuck that chin, bend the knee,
so the forehead reaches the knee. Change, inhale, come on up. Bring it all together at the top of the mat, and with one inhale breath and then an exhale, lets it all go. Let's move into our final standing posture for tree. So we begin in Tadasana. Let's take a nice deep breath here. That was a lot of hard work. I'm breathing hard. Okay, so take a breath. And then we're gonna stand strong in the left leg, windshield wiper, this right hip. Back and forth. I found a little pop there. That was good, a good release. And that lets you know how far you're gonna bring that knee up today. I'm gonna do a less intense tree by bringing the sole of my foot down just to my calf. And you can do the same, let it balance along your ankle, bring it up to the calf or up to the inner thigh. Just do not press it against your knee. And let's take a nice, quiet, deep breath here together. And change, let that go. Bring the right foot down, strong standing right foot, windshield wiper the left now. I'm gonna go with the same gentle tree on this side. It feels really good sometimes to do a less intense tree if you're just trying to calm yourself and your mind. So find your tree on this side, and again, we'll take a nice, quiet, deep breath here together. Beautiful, let that go. Take a sip of water if you need to, and then lie down on your back for Shavasana, and we'll begin the floor part of the series. I'm gonna refill a little more water here. I'll be right back. Refill water and open a window. Enjoy Shavasana. You're on your back, sink into the mat. And we'll move into wind removing pose. So just inhale your right knee up to your chest. Hug that right knee in towards your chest. Activate the left side. Imagine that it's just standing, that you're standing on your left leg here. Maybe engage the glute and feel that opening on the left hip as you feel it pinching on the right. Pull the knee down towards the armpit, along the side ribs. Feel a pinch in the hip crease of the right side and an opening in the hip crease of the left. Pull it in one more time and change. Let that go. Drop the right leg. Inhale, left leg up now. Pull that left knee in with your arms. You could take opposite elbows here or just pull in on the shin with your hands. Now engage the right leg. Flex that glute, flex the toes, and feel the opening on the right hip crease as you bring the knee down along the side body of the left towards your armpit. Pinching on the left hip crease, opening on the right. Pull in one more time. Change, let that go. Inhale, both knees up towards your chest. You can rock from side to side a bit or back and forth. Give your spine a little massage, but ultimately we end up with spine as long as we can get it on the mat, hips heavy as you pull the knees in towards the chest. And finally, with the back of your head still on the mat, just tuck your chin so that you can straighten along the neck as much as possible. Pull in one more time, straight spine on the mat. Change, let it go. Lower both legs. And just feel everything get heavy and let go as we find Shavasana here. Nice deep breath in Shavasana. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, arms overhead. Hook the thumbs together for a yoga sit-up. Exhale, sit up. 2 breaths, turn around, grab those toes. I like to move the tissue out on that sit up to really push the hips back. Turn around onto your belly for Cobra. So turn around for Cobra, fingers spread, hands under the shoulders. Zip up your Cobra tail, ankle, zip up calves all the way to your inner thighs. I'm going to touch the nose or forehead down to the mat and then inhale, pull the body, peel it, upper body off the mat with your lower back strength. Cobra tail is strong, engaged, shoulders drop away from the ears. Inhale, chest a little higher. And then come off your fingers if you want. Make sure you're using just your lower back to hold you here. Inhale a little higher maybe. And change. Exhale, let it go. Belly down, Shavasana. Left cheek on the mat. Limbs get heavy. Hips are heavy. And take a nice deep breath in Shavasana. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, moving into half locust. So we just did the upper body. We're going to go lower body now. Flip the palms so they're down on the mat. And then rock your hips side to side so that you can slide those palms under your hips. Palms are down on the mat like you're bumping a volleyball. Pinkies touch. Turn your head so the chin is on the mat. Inhale, right leg up. Right leg is activated and strong. Left leg is relaxed. Inhale, leg up. Hips square, press both hip bones into your forearms. Chin on the mat, leg up. Let it be pulled back and then lifted up as high as you can go. Just for a moment, find your edge. Change, let that leg drop. Inhale, left leg up. Same thing on this side. Press palms down in the mat and hip bones onto the wrist or forearms. As you lift that left leg, feel it being pulled back for length and then lift it up a little more. Find your edge. Lift, lift, lift. Change. Let it drop. Now we're fully going to bring both those legs up, but first let your mouth touch down on the mat. Kiss the mat. Don't lift your mouth or bring it off the mat to protect the neck. Scoot your fingers down as much as you can towards your knees. Press both hands into the mat, both hip bones into the forearms, and lift both legs. Lift a little higher, find your edge, and change. Let it go. Oh, roll those arms out from under you, palms face up, and now we're going to go left cheek down, belly down, Shavasana. Nice deep breath here. That is a very intense pose. Let it go. Okay. Let's move into full locust. So we're going to go upper and lower body now as we've warmed up for. Arms straight out to your sides, coming out from your shoulders. Zip up your Cobra tail. Chin touches down on the mat, and then we're going to lift up everything off the mat. Upper body like we did in Cobra. Lower body like we did in half locust. Lift it all. Lift, lift, lift. Lift upper body, lift lower. Find your edge. Change. Let it all go down, belly down, Shavasana. Left cheek on the mat. Yes, left cheek on the mat for belly down, Shavasana here. Take a deep breath. And that full locust prepared us for floor bow, which is really the culmination, the peak posture of the ones we've just been working for. So I'm going to windshield wiper my bent legs. I'm bending at the knees, bringing heels to my hips, but I'm going to windshield wiper the legs. Just feels good right now. My lower back. And then lift the upper body. If you want to stay right here, stay here. If you don't have the bind and you're working towards that, if you have the bind, find your feet with your hands. Bring knees together, chest lifts, and then bring those legs off the ground. You want to make a teardrop shape with your feet and hands at the peak coming from the ceiling. Roll the shoulders away from the ears and maybe rock a bit on your belly, ultimately landing on your upper belly. Find your edge, breathe, and change. Let it go. Right cheek on the mat, belly down, Shavasana. Nice deep breath. And we're headed towards a push-up here. So we're going to push up into plank. If you need to be on your knees, stay on your knees, but bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes. Tighten yourself up, one strong board as you push up into plank, and then just bend at the knees, walk them forward to the front of the mat for fixed fern. So for fixed fern, we stay with knees together, and then just open up the heels a bit because you're gonna lower your hips down into that space. So with belly engaged, knees together, heels open, you can move the tissue of your calves away, an external rotation as you sit down into that space between your heels. If you cannot connect with the floor here in fixed fern, oh, hello, I've got someone to help me. Rest a block or a blanket or a pillow or anything under your sit bones. Just be connected with the ground. If you like to take it back, you can go further back onto elbows or all the way straight onto your back. So this is a nice one for me and Betty. We're going to stay right here. Just find one spot to focus on in front of you, and we'll take a deep breath here. Okay, beautiful. Let's come out of that. I hate to kick Betty off. So come up onto your knees, move with intention, turn around onto your back for Shavasana. Okay, lying down on your back here, take a nice deep breath. And then we're gonna turn it back up for a yoga sit-up. So inhale, arms overhead, hook thumbs together, flex the toes, and with 2 audible exhales, sit up. Touch the toes, and then turn around, come to the back of the mat for half tortoise. So back of the mat, I'm sitting with my knees together, hips heavy on my heels. Find a comfortable, relaxed position here, and then inhale, arms up. We want prayer hands again. Prayer hands is super vital to this pose because those blades of the pinky sides are eventually going to be pressing into that mat. So prayer hands cross, maybe do the awkward thumb crossing. That's what I'm doing on top, just to change it up for your body. And then begin to dive over. This is a hip hinge. We're hinging at that spot. Head with forehead or nose to touch the mat first, if possible. This keeps the armpits really open, shoulders open, and then press those blades of the pinkies into the mat. Let your hips be heavy on your heels. This is a major shoulder opener. Deep breath here. And with the same control, inhale on up. That uses plenty of core strength coming out of that. Exhale, arms down, and then turn around, lie on your back for Shavasana. Nice and heavy here. Really feel your heel in the mat. Both heels are in the mat, and then your toes can just fall open, both rotating out to the outside. Palms up towards the ceiling. Let's turn it back on for a yoga sit-up. So inhale, arms overhead, taking a deep breath, hook the thumbs. Exhale, sit up. Nice sit up. Touch the toes for that hamstring stretch. And then come around to the front of your mat for camel. So before, for fixed fern, we had knees together. For camel, we have knees spread hip width apart. As I've been changing it up a bit, for angles this morning, I'll change it up so that camel, you can see knees are hip width apart. My heels, they're out right now. I'm going to tuck them in so that they're straight behind my knees. Inhale, lift the chest, but pull the belly in to protect the spine as you put your hands in your back pockets, imaginary back pockets of your pants here. Inhale, chest up, lift the gaze to the ceiling. Exhale, push the hips forward. So you'll notice my instruction is the same when we do a back bend in half moon at the beginning. Inhale, chest lifts, exhale, hips push forward. And this is a great
cue, I think, to lead people into back bend so that they keep a lift in their spine even as we fold back. Imagine your elbows have a string tied tight between them, pulling them together behind you. Find your depth. And change with core, turn on, lift yourself out of that bend. My spine feels no strain with that kind of careful cueing. So that's keep that in mind when you're heading into any back bends. And then lie down on your back for Shavasana. Deep breath here, let it go. And then we turn it back on again for that yoga sit up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, sit up. Touch the toes, hamstring stretch. Come around to the back for half tortoise. So just like the last posture at the back of the mat here, I'm sitting comfortably. My bottom's on my heels, knees are together. Bring the arms down. Find those heels with your fingers. Just find your feet with your fingers. Eventually in this pose, you've got to bind with your fingers around your heels. So keep that in mind. We inhale to prepare. Find length, straight spine. Exhale, pull the belly button in as you lower the chin down to your chest. See your stomach sink in. And bring yourself down, rounding the spine slowly. Forehead might graze the knees. Eventually, crown of the head gently checks in with your mat as you find that bind. Hands around heels, belly in, hips lift high. You'd like to keep your knees to your forehead. So if you want to, as you're upside down here, you can walk knees in to meet your forehead. Hips lift, belly in. And change, but keep that chin tucked. Keep the belly pulled in all the way out of that release. Oh, that felt good today. Turn around, lie down on your back for Shavasana. That is the one time in class where anyone with long hair has to do a readjustment because most of us have that ponytail or bun hitting the floor in that posture. Okay, let's inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, flex the toes and sit up. Yoga sit up, toes are flexed. Turn around, face the front for separate leg stretching. Let's change it up today and we'll begin. This is totally crazy, I know, but we'll begin with the opposite leg stretched out than the one I normally do. We usually start with right leg open. Let's do left. Just for a change, bring the right leg in, left leg out. Stay right here if this stretch feels good to you. And I can turn it on a little more by taking my hand and just kind of pulling up on the inner thigh here for an external rotation in my inner thigh. So stay right there if you want. That feels pretty good. Otherwise, we inhale, find length, exhale, twist and fold. Try to bring that right hand to your left leg for a twist and a fold over that left straight leg. My back tends to round here. You can see it in the screen. So I want to just make sure I lead with my chest, and if my back starts to round too much, that means I've got to bend the knee a bit to bring it in. Okay, awesome. Let's change, move over to the other side. Left leg in, right leg out. Stay right here if you want, sitting comfortably and equally on your sit bones. Bring the right thigh in if you want for an external rotation from the inside. Stay right here or go ahead and inhale, find length. Exhale, twist and fold. Bring the belly button in to push out air on the exhale, and that helps a deeper twist and a deeper fold. Anytime you're exhaling, or I'm sorry, anytime you're folding, twisting, exhale, pull the belly in. I've got some dogs barking behind me wanting to come in. I'll take care of them in a bit. Okay, let's move it on to both legs straight out. And move the tissue out so that you're sitting on your sit bones. If you want to stay right here with legs straight out, feel free. We don't sit this way enough, and this is a hamstring lengthener in itself. Otherwise, if you want to take a fold, inhale up, exhale, bend the knees as much as you need to find that hip hinge and rest the belly on the thighs. Lead with the chest. If you've met belly on thighs, led with the chest, finally let the head and neck go to have some relaxation in this pose, and just shake out the head or nod it to have some let go in the neck there. As you pull on either your upper legs here on the calves, your ankles or toes. All right, Erin, if you're still with me and watching and you've got even more mobility here, as long as your hip bones are both square on the mat and you've got your toes, if you want to take a block and put it behind your feet and press your feet into a block, that helps you get a little more length there for a little more stretch. Okay, let's come out of that. Inhale up and out, and we'll head into final spinal. We are right up on the hour right now. I started about 3 minutes late, and we'll probably go about 3 minutes after the hour. So let's do final spinal, breath of fire, and shavasana. At any time that you gotta go, I understand. But cross that right leg over left. You can keep the bottom leg straight or find that fold. You can have feet relaxed down on the mat or knees stacked one over the other. Or if you want to inhale and bring up, you'll feel a little more stretch along your right hip if you press that right foot into the mat. So find your own twist, what works for you, and then we're going to open it up, twisting with an exhale towards the right, and breathe here. A fun bind to take here, if you want to see what I'm doing, Erin, you might like this, is to bring that left arm and push it through that opening between your legs, and then bring the right arm around it and bind here. That really can open up your twist, or deepen your twist, I should say. Okay, let's let that go, and we'll move to the other side here. So left foot is on top, left leg is on top, knees are stacked. I'm sitting equally on my sit bones here. Press that left foot into the mat if you want to feel even more of an opening along the left hip. And I'll move kind of kitty corner again so you can see that bind if you want to experiment with it. So inhale, finally exhale, twist on an exhale. And to take that bind that I took on the other side, you just bring the right hand through that space, left hand wraps around your back, hands find one another, and in this bind, it can deepen, deepen, deepen the twist. This is not a traditional part of the Bikram twist. This is an Ashtanga bind in the same posture, but it feels really good, I think. Binds can help us deepen and stabilize our poses. Okay, let's let it go. Come on out, untangle yourself, and let's just meet back in the center of the mat. Comfortable seated position for breath of fire. So if you need to take a warm-up practice, remember, this is a quick, sharp exhale while we pull the belly in. It's like a snap. Snap the belly in as you exhale. So practice that a few times if you need to, and then find a comfortable position for your hands so the shoulders can really relax away from the ears. We'll inhale here together. Open mouth, exhale, let it all go. Inhale halfway and begin.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. We're done. Lie down for Shavasana if you can for 2 minutes and join me while we sort of just seal our practice with the Shavasana. Take a little moment's rest and really just honor what you did, what you asked your body to do. This really helps with the rest of the day as you take this all in. So I encourage you to join me. Just lay back. Sometimes it can feel good to really contract all of your muscles either once in a tight ball and squeeze everything in, or do one limb at a time. Shake things out if you need to, make any adjustments you need to. And then just settle in. Feel the weight heavy on your mat. Deep breathing here. If your mind wanders to what it is that you've got to do for the rest of the day, or anything you're anxious about, deadlines to meet, appointments to keep, Zoom calls to have, just notice that your mind goes there and then bring it back to where we are. Same thing if you're headed to the past, thinking about what you did last night or something not sitting right this morning, last week. Just notice where your mind goes to, what it wants to ruminate on and do what it's meant to do, which is to think and problem solve. Just notice it go there, but ask it to just come back to where we are. And now if you've had eyes closed, just blink them open, or maybe roll your head from side to side on the mat. Stretch out, take a good morning stretch if you want, just arms overhead. Wiggle the toes. Find your way up to a seated position. Join me here. This is a great practice. It's a great way to start a Monday and a great way to start the week. So thank you for showing up. Thanks for joining later if it didn't fit with your timeline and you're just joining in a little later than the morning. No problem. So happy to have you. I've only got 2 more weeks left of this. I'm not sure if we'll keep going into June. I'm committed through the end of May, so we got 2 more weeks. Be here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and same again the next week, 8 a.m. Pacific time. Not sure about happy hour this week. I think I might just maybe do 1 more happy hour through the end, through this month, and then yeah, I'll keep you posted on what's to come for June. But thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I want to say namaste. The light in me sees, acknowledges, honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. It is such an honor to get to teach you guys. Happy Monday. Have a great week.